This is Diana Rosas for Spotlight Texas and Fox Bay Creative. Welcome to this virtual Meet the Candidates event, sponsored by the City Council of Forney, Texas. There are 5 qualified candidates under final consideration to fill Council Position 2. That's the seat vacated last month by the resignation of Councilman Sean Myers. Under the Forney City Charter, Council will fill this seat with their top choice from among these 5 candidates, to be announced June 28th. The interviews that follow are presented to keep the public informed about this process. All candidates answered identical questions. All answers were spontaneous and unrehearsed. And now, in their own words, the finalists for Position 2 on Forney City Council. How should the council help prepare Forney for the future?
I believe the best way to prepare for the future is to, take a step back, leadership all together, and kind of just assess where the direction has been headed and think about where the direction is that the city would like to go in the future. And that way, just kind of all get on the same page, sit down, plan it out, and then find a way to move forward.
I believe the council should help prepare Forney for the future simply by going back and starting with the comprehensive plan that was developed 5 years ago. Since then, the population has grown exponentially. We're past the projections that were in that plan. Several of the development areas have been overlooked, or other developments have been put in places where, say, a hospital or a college or what have you might go. And there needs to be a little more thoroughness approach to approving plan developments, things like housing additions, where they're located. That way we have a good, smart growth plan for the city.
Basically, we have 2 major choices coming up. We have to nail it with the city manager, and we have to nail it with the police chief. From what I'm understanding from just talking to people in other cities, Forney's getting the reputation that we're no longer a city without boundaries or without limits. Our politicians have been setting that ceiling on us. It's not the citizens. The citizens want to grow. The citizens are energetic. But they have to have politicians who believe in the whole mantra of the city with no limits. Until they get behind it, it doesn't matter. We're never going to get city involvement. We're not going to raise the number of people who are willing to come out and vote and are invested in this city. So until they believe in us and we gain the trust back, nothing will change.
First of all, I'd like to say thanks to my Lord Savior for giving me the opportunity today to sit here. Tomorrow's not promised, so I thank him today. Well, Forney is a growing city, the number 2 city in the nation as far as growth. So what Forney should do is collectively be able to be transparent with our constituents, stakeholders, and let them know up front what's coming in, have an open door to discuss our future with our children, our families, and more have a family atmosphere.
I think it comes in 2 things. I think it comes with community and research. Community being you can't do nothing alone. So reaching out to counterparts, whether it's different cities, counties, just to kind of get an idea. I was a public officer for Dallas County, and that was one of the things that I did. I obviously live in Forney, but one of the things we did was try to establish community, because it can help give different paradigms, help give different ideas about pushing the city forward with regards to economics, schooling, so on and so forth, just establishing a community. And then the second thing is just resources. Resource our local community, resource people that are in the know. I think those 2 things will help drive the city to the future.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I have a husband. His name is Jose, and we have 2 daughters. Annalise is 5, and Julia is 3 months old. We also have 2 dogs. We enjoy spending our time outdoors, traveling, and just making new experiences as a family.
My name is Greg Helm. I live here in Forney with my wife and 2 daughters. We've been here for about 4 years now. I work over in Terrell for a company called Madix, supply chain manager there. And my wife is a social worker. She kind of works all over East Texas, and our daughters one is going into high school, one's in intermediate school. And so between soccer and renovating an old house here, that pretty much takes all of our time.
Well, I'm involved in the Forney Foundation Education. I'm also a master gardener with the Kaufman County. I'm also on the Historical Commission. And I am the vice president of the Children Advocacy Center. When I'm not doing the meetings, I love to be in my yard. And something kind of interesting, for my 50th birthday, I started taking welding classes, which is something that I always wanted to do.
Well, currently today, I'm a law enforcement officer. I've been law enforcement almost 20 years with the Dallas Police Department. At Forney today, I'm currently with the Planning and Zoning Commission. So we approve plaques, rezoning, and those are some of the things I do.
Been married for 20 years, have a daughter that's 13, that's going on 30. I have a son that is 10 years old, and live right in Greyhawk, and we just really love the community that's in Forney. Not only that, but just coming from California, being here for the last 10 years, we really just love the diversity and everything in terms of what Forney has to offer.
What are the major issues facing Forney?
The major issues facing Forney at this time are the unprecedented level of growth, and the most important thing is the corruption that's been presented, or findings that jeopardize the city and the future of Forney.
To me, the major issues is infrastructure. We've been a rural community. We have grown very fast in a relatively short time, and so roadways have not kept up. We've also had a lot of new development that have added a lot of traffic, a lot of kids, a lot of schools, which are great things. It's a growing community, but at the same time, we have to have the infrastructure in place to meet the needs of all those people.
Real simple. I named the first two. But the biggest issue facing us right now is the trust. Everybody can say transparency. That's fine. Words mean nothing without actions. Until we're willing to not have our name spread all over different news outlets within the city, or for that matter, even DFW news outlets. We don't want to be known for a city that's full of controversy. I've lived in the city for 15 years. I love this city, but I can tell you, for 15 years, we've had constant turmoil. It's time to stop that.
The major issues today in Forney is growth and traffic. And both sides of the freeway, we need to have the same opportunity. We need to start building some things for our kids to do, parks, recreations, in that nature for our families. Have more of a family atmosphere. That's what we are as a council, we have to look forward to. And also having our police and fire funded well, so we can have first responders that have all the tools and resources that they need to keep us safe each day.
Some of the major issues facing Forney, I think Forney has a good problem. Forney is diverse. Forney it's growing. People want to be in Forney, but with the good also comes a little bit of the challenges, and that is abilities for opportunity with regards to infrastructure, with regards to more businesses opening up for more opportunities. I think that can be a little bit, and notice I said opportunities and not challenges, because I kind of see challenges, if you will, I kind of see those things as opportunities for us to overcome. So I think to answer the question, some of the challenges, I like to say opportunities, are infrastructure, how we are bringing in people and how we are obviously housing those people, with regards to businesses, housing, so on and so forth, as well as our streets and traffic and so on and so forth. Obviously, some of the things that you read on your social media things of the challenges, I look at those as opportunities to push the city forward.
What is your favorite thing about living in Forney?
I would have to say my favorite thing about living in Forney is a sense of community. Neighbors are friendly. It's got a great morale. Everybody seems to be, kind of happy to be here and just kind of works together as a community.
Me, my favorite thing is just the community spirit. That's what drew us here, whether it was through the friends that we knew, through kind of school relations, through church relations, just a very family-friendly environment. We've seen the amenities grow over time. We'd like to see more of that in the future, obviously, but it's just a great atmosphere to raise a family in.
Oh, I love small town. Right now I have family in from Austin. So we went and had breakfast at Crumb's, and the first thing my sister-in-law wanted to do was go shopping. So we went to Groovy's, and she announced to everybody in Groovy's that she tells all her friends in Austin that they have to come to Forney, Texas to shop.
My favorite thing in Forney is it's not too big and it's not small, and everything is close by, so I don't have to drive real far. I like the people here. The neighborhood is great. Crime is real low, and it gives me an opportunity to raise my kids and family.
We're still a small town with big aspirations, and I think that is the key. We're starting a trend where we're growing a little bit, but we're still a local town. I can still walk into Brookshire's and see people that I know, and they know me by name, they know my kids. I love that uniqueness about Forney. Not only that, but I love the diversity of Forney. I love that there's multiple businesses where you can go and get something from Louisiana, but then go right down and get a pizza. I love the diversity that Forney has, and that we are just a small knit community. I love that the city shuts down, if you will, when North Forney plays Forney. I love that piece, and I wouldn't choose no other city to live in other than Forney.
What skill sets do you bring to the table?
My professional background in social work has helped me build skills in listening, and I'm able to listen to an issue or concern and get to the root of that concern, and then find out what factors come into play. Just kind of get a basic understanding for the main issue, and then use that to find a solution for whatever concern there is.
My skill sets that I bring, I've spent 20 plus years in the business world, a lot of areas, contract negotiations, a little bit of financial operations, so I understand things like budgeting, how we spend money, where we spend money, and most importantly, just the thoroughness of decision making. So in my field, I have to do a lot of analysis and thought to decisions that are made from a business front. I want to take that same approach from the city, that we can be thorough, we can be thoughtful about decisions and not do things or make decisions that are based on what we may feel, what we may want. It's for the best of the city as a whole.
I'm not a politician. I'm a citizen. I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't own a business. I care about the people. I love this town. I came out here when there was 5,400 people, and my friends thought I was crazy moving to the boondocks. I knew we were going to grow. It happens. But I look at the things that we have to look at things with a fresh set of eyes. We have to come in. We have to have people who are willing to stop and listen. I get Facebook, that's great, but what happened to going out and meeting people and talking to people? If we're not face to face, then again, it's easy to click and then it's easy to turn it off. So I believe that I'm a builder. I like to work behind the scenes. I'm not afraid to tell people my weaknesses and to say somebody's a stronger person. And I think that's something that I can bring to this team.
Well, currently today, I'm in P&Z, so I know a lot more about the buildings and approving plats. I'm currently in law enforcement with almost 20 years in, so public safety is a big plus for me. I have worked with children pretty much my whole career, adult career, in my employment. So as a former school teacher, I work with parents, I work with administrators, and I work with different governments in our city. So that's one of the things that I'll be looking forward to.
I've been in public officer. I currently work for the Federal Reserve, but prior I was the procurement director for Dallas County. And one of the things that you get a bird's eye view is the behind the scenes. Obviously, there's the sexy part of the political and we're doing this and that, but the behind the scenes is what you really want to get an eye to, because that's where you see how the thing is being pushed forward. Well, I have that. I'm a public officer for the second biggest county in Texas for 9 years, and that gave me an opportunity to not only create relationships, but it also gave me, as I said, a bird's eye view into what actually needs to be done to push forward an agenda, whether it's for a city, a municipality, county, what actually needs to be done. So that's what I think, one of the reasons why I think I'm uniquely qualified. I think the second thing is my thinking is a little bit down to earth. I think we all share commonalities of we want, our kids to be successful. We want to be successful, right? We want to just be able to go and play, in the park and, not have to worry about anything. I think I share those things with other people, not the high, lofty, hey, we're going to do this, but just the base things that I feel that I share with people in Forney. And I think that helps tool me with the ability to be able to connect with not only, just being diverse, be able to connect with a diverse community, not only with Black folks, white folks, anybody else that lives in Forney. So I think those are the two reasons why I'm uniquely qualified for this opportunity.
Where would you like to see Forney in the next 10 years?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I would like to see continued growth for Forney, but in the proper way. I think that Forney has limitless possibilities and potential, and I would really like to see, an addition of schools, for the retail and just growing the community as a whole.
In a 10-year time frame, I'd like to see Forney grow but at a reasonable rate, right? We're right on the cusp of kind of having this small town feel, but yet when you look at our population numbers, it's really not. And so the trick is to become that larger city with that community feel. And I think the way we do that is we continue to bring things like arts to the city, family-friendly events, continue to invest in the school districts, those kind of things.
Really big. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. We're not a little secret anymore. People are figuring out, one, we have amazing school districts. We have great property values. I mean, in 35 minutes, I can be in downtown Dallas at Uncle Julio's. Where else can I do that?
I see Forney's going to be flourishing. Everybody wants to come here. As you see now, we're the number 2 fastest growing city in the United States. So jobs is going to be here, more of a family atmosphere. We get to leave our tax dollars here, so our families to stay here. If you remember back in the days, if you look at Mesquite, when Mesquite was Rockwall and Forney, we're still doing it today. We used to drive all the way to Mesquite to go to the Town East Mall. Well, Rockwall took the shape of, hey, we're going to leave our families here, so they built things to surround their community. Here in Forney, we want to do the same thing. We want to bring, infrastructure here and have our families stay here.
Where I see Forney in the next 5 to 10 years, I really see Forney positioning themselves as a city of choice. And let me explain that real quick. I sometimes Forney gets into this discussion of, how far it is from Dallas, so on and so forth. And obviously people have their different commute. I commute into downtown Dallas for my occupation, but I'm really seeing Forney as a city of choice. People will be actually looking to move to Forney, not only because of the things that we provide, but again, because of diversity. And that's where I see Forney within 5 to 10 years as a city of choice with regards to residents.
This has been a virtual Meet the Candidates event, sponsored by Forney City Council. If you'd like, please leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you about the candidates or about this video. I'm Diana Rosas for Spotlight Texas and Fox Bay Creative. Thanks for watching.